Yes, in this video, I'm going to be reviewing all of the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Legacy lightsabers. How about the Cal Kestis Seer Junda staff? Check. The new Yoda saber? Check. And how about those saucy Ahsoka Tano thinner sabers that just got released? These sabers and all the rest are going to be reviewed in this video, so don't go anywhere. Hey, all you Star Wars and Galaxy's Edge fans, welcome to Finding the Force. And if you've been hiding under a rock and haven't heard of my channel before, click that subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss any of my videos. And as always, they call me Obi-Dad Kenobi. Hello there. Please feel free to hit that like button. It tells YouTube I make good content and it goes a long way. So this is the complete Legacy Lightsaber Collection review, which I am adding on to the previous version. So this is really like a version 2.0. I think I'm going to be adding like, I don't know, 8 or 10 of the most updated sabers. You might see a lot of changes to the background. I'm going to make a lot of updates, enhancements, and clean up the audio so you can better hear the sounds of the sabers. So let's travel back in time to our first Legacy lightsaber. The first most important person I have to thank for making this video possible is our official smuggler, Kevin. And on Instagram, check him out. Contact him if there's any merchandise you want from Disney World or especially Galaxy's Edge. So what better way to start the video than showing you guys my very first all-metal hilt lightsaber I ever purchased, the Luke Skywalker. And I thought really hard about this, you guys. It came down to this. On opening day, I couldn't decide between the Skywalker and the Luke Return of the Jedi. I thought for weeks and weeks about it. I didn't even do the Savi's workshop on opening day. I just wanted one of these lightsabers. So I was going to buy one. They're like $200 with a blade. Little did I know that I'd be collecting them. I love it. It's just such a fun feeling to hold it. And like I've mentioned in videos before, guys, that, you know, your lightsabers might be on display a lot more than you're actually having fun with them. What makes this unique is actually the golden neck. It's not so movie accurate, it just looks really cool. Other than the larger size, they captured all of the particular details to this saber that really makes it iconic. And so I'm sure, as all of you guys know, we're gonna remove the display emitter and put on here the blade emitter. Even after these past 3 years, still gets me to kind of like giggle a little bit when I see the blade emitter, which I lovingly compare to a pelican choking on a fish. But there's nothing funny about holding Luke Skywalker's lightsaber and powering up this green blade and hearing that sharp ignition sound. Got his traditional iconic lightsaber swing sounds. And that very sharp clash effect. Gotta love that. Return of the Jedi, one of my favorite movies of all time. Let's keep going. Why not? Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 1. What makes, there's one thing I love and one thing I hate about this lightsaber. I love that it has this thin neck up near the top, which actually makes this one of the few lightsabers in the Galaxy's Edge collection that you can do tricks with and spins with fairly easy. But the one thing I'm not crazy about is that they had the opportunity to use one of these dials as a switch, but they put this light switch on here. What are you going to do? Very traditional lightsaber sound of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And this is also one of the lighter of all the sabers. So putting this on your hip, you won't even notice it in the parks. Let's keep going. The iconic Skywalker lightsaber in the Empire Strikes Back configuration, or this might even be the, the Force Awakens configuration, because Disney was so big on promoting the sequels and stuff. There's nothing like holding a Graflex, you guys. And the term Graflex, another short video, refers to the Graflex camera that was the flash gun was used to make this in the first Star Wars ever, Episode 4, A New Hope. Yes, got the Luke Skywalker sound. And one thing I'll tell you guys right now I love about all the Galaxy's Edge sabers is that somehow, from all these sabers, they've managed to give each one a unique and different sound and swing and clash effects. You know, a lot of people ask, which saber should I get? Big question, get it all the time. The answer is, go with your gut, guys. You know, the first saber that pops into your head is the one you have to get. Boom, the Temple Guard. Finally getting around to this bad boy. See them in the Clone Wars, their saber staffs. And this was released in a box set. We actually auctioned it off for charity. I really wish the side windows would light up, but with all the Galaxy's Edge lightsabers, there's no added lights. Super unique, metallic, like aluminum sound. That whipping ignition is so unique. You'll recognize that from a mile away. Yellow's a little bit faint, could maybe use some new batteries. But the Saber Staff box set was super hard to get a hold of, limited on Shop Disney, and it comes with the two different connectors. One like allows them to pop out, and one was much stronger and sturdy. You know, had like a wooden look to it. Very cool elven type emitter appearance. That's a Temple Guard. Asajj Ventress, a fan favorite of all of you Clone Wars fans out there. Buy two of them, can connect them. Has been very difficult to find. Oh, you hear that? Oh, that's like a Harley purring out on the street. Got a little hint of like electricity humming there. I never got two of them and connected two of them, but it's been really fun to see this one again. It brings back memories. But I do love that this little accent that looks like a switch is the switch, so I'm super happy they did that and didn't add like an extra added one that Hasbro did. I think I compared these sabers in one video and they didn't add like an extra switch somewhere else. Drives me nuts. Hate when they do that. Darth Vader, and there's so many different configurations from the different films, but I've told you guys before, this one is definitely my favorite. I love the wires at the top. They make it super interesting, and the bubble strip is very vintage. I love the original trilogy, is my personal favorite. And I'm a little surprised that how good the grips feel. They feel really tough. Not like they don't at all feel like a piece is gonna come up or that over time they're gonna like break off. They feel super, super strong. And this definitely does not have a generic sound like Hasbro's kind of notorious for. Iconic Darth Vader hissing sound. Yeah. That super sharp ignition. It's even loud too. This is really loud saber, but sometimes the volume can vary a little bit if your batteries are low. So if you're a Darth Vader fan, you're gonna go nuts for this. One of the cheapest metal Vader hilts you can find, even though I also reviewed the Darksaber's Neopixel version of this that ended up going to AJ, a super great kid out there fighting brain cancer, and I'm gonna share that story with you guys soon as well. Next, a fan favorite, Jedi Master Mace Windu. And I didn't realize how incredibly thick this saber is compared to the more replica version. I finally got my hands on one, but once I've held the replica, I all of a sudden realized how incredibly thick this saber is. It's all chromed out. The grips feel super sturdy. I love the texture on the backing. I also did a video showing off a custom Neopixel blade that works with all of your Galaxy's Edge sabers from Jemu, and I just did a recent updated video on that. Check that out down in the description as well. Oh, I love that unique sound. It turns, you know, this color purple can even look a little pinkish if your batteries are low. But on the earlier Mace Windu sabers, a lot of people unanimously said it was like more of a lighter, a deeper pink color than a purple. But with the Jemu blade, it gives you a really solid, rich purple color. I put that in that review video. But it's just really, this is just such a cool saber to hold. It's not generic, it's very unique. One flaw, be careful guys, activation switch is this metal piece that slides up, and they used to rattle and can get stuck and break or pop off. So kind of a downside. That's why I love the Darksabers version. There's like a little discrete button right here, and it doesn't use any of these accent pieces as switches. All right, why not guys? The Darth Maul saber staff. Boom, one of the original OG sabers from opening day. One of my viewers was asking about blade length for the Darth Maul, and I definitely recommend for most of everyone the shortest 26-inch blade. I think if you're going to be a collector of these sabers, you're going to want to have like a pair of each size. because you might actually like the 32 Savi's Workshop length more than the 26s, but you can't go wrong with these. I think this is great for saber staff for pretty much everybody, so that when you have the saber about this height, you're not going to hit the floor. I'm really impressed with the connector. Really well vented for sound, and let's listen to Darth Maul's signature lightsaber sound. Oh yeah, because each saber is making like a double saber swing sound. Oh, and I can do this now because I have a bigger studio than before. Oh man, sweet. We have to buy them one at a time. Each one comes with a connector. That's Darth Maul's saber staff. This is endurance saber reviews, guys. I hope I can keep up. All right, next. I hope I don't miss one. That would be tragic. The Ben Solo Legacy Lightsaber. When I saw this, I just loved the design immediately. It's probably thicker than the replica, like most of the time, but I just thought this is such a cool, sleek design. It's one of the few sabers that's actually weathered. I had a hard time counting how many, but it is weathered. The buttons and the sides are weathered like the Kylo Ren's. But just some of the accent pieces. The bulk of the saber is a really shiny, kind of a bright silver, and the upper emitter goes from the blue to the purple to the gold. Oh man, I love all that. It's like hard to describe. It's that sound just sounds so cool. One of the three 3-second sabers from the Rise of Skywalker, you know, that you only see for just moments. Let's listen to the swing sounds. Kind of sounds like Luke Skywalker's Clash a little bit. Soon to be retired, according to Disney. Whatever that means. The Darth Tyrannus, also known as Count Dooku saber. Super deluxe, chromed out. Oh man, I love the fact that the bottom, it should be designed so that the button lines up perfectly, streamlined with the design of the saber. The Hasbro one was off a little bit, drove me nuts. Yes, it's activated by a little switch underneath, but it's pretty discreet. I don't think you'd really notice it. I think that's really the only way they could have added a switch, because this whole pommel piece comes off for the battery pack inside. Kind of a more quiet sound. The sound has to come out of this big clunky metal hilt. Still vented okay. Could be the batteries, but just maybe the activation's a little bit on the quieter side, but super unique swing sounds. All of the Galaxy's Edge sabers flash, even though it's kind of hard to see on screen. Okay, now this next lightsaber is Anakin Skywalker's first all-metal lightsaber, the Kylo Ren. What? Oh man, opening day, I got Luke Skywalker, he had Kylo Ren, different trilogies. That's cool though. Again, one of the few sabers that really is weathered, just even a little bit, just kind of scuffed up so it doesn't look brand new, you know, they just kind of scuffed up some of the accents on the grip. And they painted the side vents, this kind of a peach and a blue color near the side, you know, near the ends. And overall, compared to all the Kylo Ren lightsabers, I think this is my favorite design, whether it be Hasbro or any other company that I've seen for this price point. Nailed it. And it's also rare in general to find belt clips that come with the Kylo Ren lightsaber, and this one does. And something I don't want to forget to stress to you guys is that when you buy a Galaxy's Edge Legacy lightsaber, take it out of the box, swing it around, and test it out, making sure that it's working okay, all right? You do not want to get home and find out that the side blade doesn't work or that something's just going haywire. You don't want to find out at home. Disney will fix it, but it'll take a few weeks. It does flicker. There is a slight flicker. You know, it kind of plays on a loop. You can hear some short-circuiting sounds, some crackles. There you go. You can hear the hiss a little bit when you move the saber. And unfortunately, this is the only saber that I think makes the same clash sound. Deactivation, the main blade does light up before the side vents. And what can I say? It works, you know, compared to the Hasbro Force Effects Elite lightsabers. They keep trying to pump more effects into the blades, but then they stop working as well. So it works, and it's also the most reasonable price between those two, the other competing company. So next we'll check out Reforged is what they're calling this one. We did a comparison with this and the Skywalker Saber. Everything is identical except for just the details here. The sounds, the ignition, everything else was the exact same. All the accents and like the detail on the upper half, all identical. Sounds the same color and everything. The leather cuff in the center with this metal piece that's kind of bolted down and the carbon scoring here. I really love the extra detail, and it makes it almost more interesting, like visually to the eye. And the belt clip is also built in, and it feels pretty durable. If you wanted to break it, you would, but don't need a special clip or anything, just slides right on the belt there. So this is one of the only sabers where the replica is really not that much thinner at all to the Galaxy's Edge saber. They're about the same thickness, and like I said, I do love this carbon scoring, the way that it looks. It's not going to rub off. It's not paint. I don't even know how they put that on there, but it looks really cool. Although something that does kind of drive me nuts a little bit is that both of my Skywalker sabers, I want to put some super glue underneath the ears. You hear that? The other Graflex sabers of like the higher tiers, the more replica grades, these ears connect to this cuff and kind of pinch the saber down so they don't wiggle like that at all. But like I said, it's the price point. But cool, action-packed clash effects, different. There's probably 3 or 4 of them. All right, now this is a bit of a controversial saber for a couple of reasons. First, if you guys recall, they actually released this in a box set, and it was paired with the Reforged Skywalker. It kind of gave people the idea that this was going to be a limited saber. So all these boxes all got bought up, and then a couple weeks later, you were able to purchase it by itself in its crate. Another thing that's driving people crazy, a year or so after it's come out, these little pearl inlays start to peel themselves off the saber. So it's kind of a defect. It's a real shame for all of you Princess Leia fans out there. This is the second thin neck sabers that have a whole upper emitter that removes and looks cool on display. They missed this opportunity to really nail the design by using this button as the activation switch instead of this little switch down below. But you kind of get 2 for 1 with this saber because you get to put it on display like so, and then when you do take it down to have fun with it, you remove the upper half and replace it with the blade half that makes me laugh. Definitely an orange hue, like a light, I wouldn't say copper. No, I don't think they got the color right. I just don't. You can't really find another Leia saber for this price, but she does sound good. One of the three 3-second sabers from The Rise of Skywalker. And a really exciting scene to see Princess Leia training with Luke and even besting him in that scene when they're running out in the jungle somewhere. Really metallic sound to it. Got some different swing sounds. Clash sounds are a little bit low volume. All right, next we have the Darksaber, modeled from the Mandalorian show, and I think they nailed this design. This is definitely one of the thinnest sabers that they sell. Feels fantastic, looks slick, although it does fail in a couple areas, but I mean, just even on display, this is going to look fantastic. Comes in a big box set, which comes with its own stand and a belt clip. Now, the belt clip does rub people the wrong way. It kind of sticks out this bright silver, which stands out definitely from the black, but easy fix. It comes right off with an Allen wrench. You could paint it and it'll blend right in. Give you a way to kind of personalize it, make it your own. There's this little cap that pops right off and the blade inserts. It is way, way easier than the Black Series. And I'm going to be doing an epic Darksaber review video because there's definitely difference in the blade. This Galaxy's Edge blade, different LED lights, but it's strong. And look at this. Push the button, ka-chunk, you're done. That's how you want to put your blade in. You just want to be done with it. Hasbro, you have to like get out an Allen wrench, take the screw out, remove the whole upper half, put the blade in, slide the upper half over it. Who wants to do that? You're not going to have fun with your sabers if you got to do that kind of a project, you know? Kylo Ren flickers, the Darksaber flickers. Although it's making action-packed swinging sounds when I'm not, not moving it. Stop it! Stop! Okay. How embarrassing. There we go. The sound's coming out the... Are you doing that on purpose? The sound comes out the bottom of the... Cramping my style here. The sound is coming out the bottom of the hilt where it should come out of. I've had about enough of you. I'm putting you down. The Rey with the cool plastic teeth. Oh, I guess they're cool. The plastic teeth that open and shut. And this is one of the few rare sabers that is very weathered and has a cool sandy coating and powdered. Mostly just the pommel and the emitter have this sandy look to it. I think they did actually a really good job with the wrap. The wrap looks rugged. Even if the layers don't look natural, it still looks roughed up. But what kills the saber are two things. One, we can't see the windows like in the movie. Come on, light up something else. It'd really help out. And also they put this light switch on the side of the saber. Wah, wah. But the teeth, you don't have to do all this unscrewing business like you do with the other sabers. The teeth just pop up, even though one of mine is a little limp. Make sure you take your sabers out, test them out, check the teeth, make sure they're all working right before you leave Doc Ondar's, you know? The sound resonates really well out of here. They nailed the ignition sound. Unlike the Darksaber, it's not getting triggered when you hold it still. Oh, and this is, I think, the first time Disney sneaked in one of their clash effects. Like they had like 2 or 3 flashes in a row. There we go. It's kind of a lightning clash, almost like a lockup effect. And so next is the Galactic Starcruiser super exclusive lightsaber. Their training lightsaber that you can only buy on the Starcruiser. I think it's still a pretty hot item on eBay. And it's a training lightsaber. Another opportunity missed. The red button is not the activation button. It's this little light switch. What are you going to do? No, it's just a little metal button and it pops right off. So you're definitely going to want to super glue that, or that sucker's going to pop off and might even get lost in your shag carpet or something. Hopefully your dog doesn't eat it. That would be some couple of days. I've heard a lot of people say they're not really too crazy about the sound of this saber, but keep in mind it's a training lightsaber. It's not really designed to any particular Jedi or Sith. It is just for learning how to wield a saber aboard a luxury starliner. So does the sound of this lightsaber remind you of when Jim Carrey did the most annoying sound in the world? Maybe, maybe not. The clash sounds are quite glorious if you take the moment to hear them. You can hear some sparks almost flying off. Very low volume though, compared to the of the like hum of the saber. But this and the next item I'm going to review are part of the Legacy Collection and only can be purchased on the Starcruiser. Which brings me to the next item, which is the Legacy Shield. It changes all 6 colors of the lightsabers from Galaxy's Edge and Savi's Workshop. But it changes all the colors. And it makes the cool sound effects that they make, that the shields make. The lightsaber training pod on the Galactic Starcruiser. I did not see the souvenir coming. It's a really neat idea, and this would be perfect for Nerf Wars. Pow, pow, pow. Make a game around it. Who has the magic shield? And even white. And back to blue. Bam! So why not take a minute to admire the Ahsoka Tano Clone Wars Legacy lightsabers. Comes with two, probably close to what, $195 is, I'm guessing, the price. We've got the larger saber and the smaller Shoto saber. I think it'd be cool to definitely put the different size blades in here. The only downside is that the Shoto is not the lime green color. They're the same greens, but they kick Hasbro's butt because Hasbro only made the one. And you have to buy two of these, and compared to Disney making the Shoto. So again, for the price, you can't beat it. Some Snips sabers. They nailed all of the major accents, even if they are as thick as a Twinkie. Bigger one has the larger switch to activate it. Little one has little switch. Yeah. Get some Ahsoka moves up in here. Awesome sound effects. Let's listen to those ignition sounds again, shall we? Yeah, you feel like Ahsoka running around with these in the neighborhood, let me tell you. Each one has a secret button. It doesn't do anything when you press it, but when you hold it down, flashes white, turns into blue, all new sounds. And each saber, it's so cool, makes the sound of two sabers. So moving them together and you just sound like crazy lightsaber swinging action. Green clash sounds. Blue clash sounds. They have the same clash sound, but the smaller one has a higher pitch. Cool. Next, if you had two metal, foot-long Subway sandwiches connected, you'd have the Cal Kestis. Dang. Now, let's not open that can of worms. Jaro Tapal, Cal Kestis. Let's just get on with the video, okay? I think he has this combination of saber for most of the video games, so we're going to call this the Cal Kestis Saber Staff. Got two of them, but, woo, okay. I don't know how much I'm holding here. At least 5 pounds. You would not want to carry this on your hip. I don't think you'd want to cosplay with this. This is probably for the collectors. All the details are there. The major details, the end of the grip. I think they went a little overboard with the wires sticking out, but it's a Galaxy's Edge Cal Kestis. They promised us, they gave it to us. We knew it was going to be big, and here it is. Before you buy yours, if you can, look under the neck. There's like this little black line, and it's really inconsistent. It's really kind of messy. I think it's supposed to be inconsistent, but this one looks a lot cleaner. These windows here are black, which is cool with me. Each one has a circular CoverTech belt clip. Let's see how the sound is, because it's only vented on two sides, not all the way around like the Darth Maul. I've got two 26-inch blades, because you don't want the blades to be crashing into the ground if you're trying some moves. Yeah, the Cal Kestis workout. All biceps, all day. Oh, the Cal Kestis sound, man. Yeah. Hope I don't knock over anything behind me. Boom, boom. Oh, that deactivates quick. Let's listen to that again. Yeah. But hey, you've got a Galaxy's Edge Cal Kestis. You got 3 different blade types. Has those really cool punchy clash effects, like it's deflecting blaster bolts. Right out of the game, you guys. Boom. Moving on. All right, one of the newer sabers, the Luminara Unduli. Gonna be honest, not one of my favorites. But it's different. You got some gold accents. I love the CoverTech belt clip, and I love that you can just turn the little dial, activates the saber. The next saber I'll review is the Plo Koon, which I like better, much more interesting of a design. But she's one of the few green lightsabers that's a part of the Legacy Collection. Another kind of a motor, heavy Harley Davidson kind of a sound to it. And actually, I think the clash sounds have a metallic sound as well. Flashing yellow. And the black button is the switch. Okay, so the next one of the same style of body type, which I like better, is the Plo Koon Jedi Master. Both these are Jedi Masters on the Council and the prequels, and they kind of make all these little, if you look for them, you see them more often than if you're just watching it casually. Same design. The tip is not a little rubber nubbin, it's a silver nubbin. But I do like the black stripes on the grip and the blue up in the emitter. Kind of unique. You don't see blue on lightsabers very often. And I believe Plo Koon saber is blue. Let's check out the sounds. Oh yeah. Let me hear that again. Ignition activation sound. I almost heard two sounds put together. That was kind of cool. Cool, unique sounds. Every one of these sabers, man. Cal Kestis sounded like the game. Comment down below, is Disney respecting the fandom and adding sabers from the less popular characters, or are they just repurposing the same design, trying to make a little extra green? Cha-ching. I can do this, guys. I can do it. Endurance lightsaber reviewing. I'm starting to lose my voice. And next is the Darth Maul Shadow Collective first time exposed Kyber crystal lightsaber. And this is, I don't care who you are, this is an awesome design for a saber. The whole upper half looks like a Tommy gun. It's got all these like perforated holes. You can, in between the holes, you can see these wires running to each side. And the bottom half is this really neat material. I think it's like, I don't know, some poly something, urethane, I don't know, poly something. Very smooth rubber feeling. You know, this is definitely one of the lighter of all the sabers. Will go great on a belt clip, even though it's longer. It can be a single-handed, it can be a two-handed saber, and it's made to connect with the original Darth Maul saber on the other end to be a saber staff. You cannot put two of these together, unfortunately. It's just the way that the connector works. Let's check it out. Yeah, it's got the double saber sound to it. And I got this like crazy long blade. It's like, I feel like a samurai. Oh, 3 clash effects. That's cool. 2 clash. And they haven't been doing this with all the new sabers, which is kind of interesting. Got the red crystal inside. Looks really cool. There's no one who's not going to think that crystal doesn't look cool. Yeah, all right. It's such a random saber that I don't think we've even seen on a screen, whether it was a movie or a show. The Asajj Ventress Refocused saber, which has the exact same design, everything about it, just has the yellow lightsaber sound that you'll get from the Kyber crystals with the Savi's workshop or from the Temple Guard. Same sound. Just yellow for all of you Jedi out there who wanted the cool exposed crystal look, but maybe didn't want the red Sith saber. The Darth Sidious Evil Palpatine Legacy lightsaber, the most chromed out thing I've seen. Really surprised me. This actually won me over. I like it. The emitter, the neck, and the pommel are all the same color gold. I kind of like that. Got the buttons on either side, red and green. But this only takes a few turns, and off comes the CoverTech belt clip and exposes the rechargeable battery. The other newest saber that Galaxy's Edge released was the Obi-Wan Kenobi, which does not have the rechargeable battery. I don't know what's going on. Disney doesn't make sense. Let's hear how it sounds, but so easy to get to. No Allen wrench required, you guys. Boom. And again, well, there's a little switch on the back. Doesn't drive me that crazy though. I mean, it's a small price to pay for having a Darth Sidious lightsaber for $150, you know? What, give or take 10 bucks, right? This definitely had the Palpatine sound to it. Yeah. I know the Force Effects Palpatine has like a cool lightning effect and it all turns blue and there's some bouncing little lines on it and stuff. Just all we got is Clash here. That's all we got. Flash on Clash. But still a deep, dark-sided hum. Don't think the sensitivity is there. It feels like it's there on the Obi-Wan. We're going to get to that next. But you have an evil Palpatine lightsaber. It looks great. I know it's ridiculously big compared to the actual prop. See, it's so ironic. They put a belt clip on the one saber, the least likely saber I would ever take out of the house. It's kind of interesting that the belt clip is this rose gold metal and different than the rest of the saber. I would have liked if they could have added maybe the neck or whatever the replica looks like, the rose gold to the rest of the saber. Would have been cool. Collector's box set of the Ahsoka Tano Rebels white lightsabers. Let's take these puppies out, huh? So I believe that this style is a little bit different from the original Ahsoka Tano Rebels lightsabers that they released. They like changed the colors of the diamonds or the etchings on the sides or the emitters. I'll try to find both the pictures here for you, but these are them, guys. They're just much bigger, I think, than the props she used in The Mandalorian or like their scale size for the Rebel show. But I think as far as the details go in the hilts, they nailed the details with the larger hilt having the gold up near the emitter, the smaller hilt having this gold accent piece near the pommel. I like that. It kind of adds, it makes them interesting, showing them together like that, especially with the slightly bent shape, kind of a katana design. Let's put blades in these bad boys, huh? You know, as far as cosplay go, for all of you Ahsoka fans out there, you can't beat the price. These are definitely sabers that have some heft to them. You're not going to want to really walk around with these. If you do, they're going to pull down on your belt quite a bit. Yeah. Got the smaller blade for the Shoto saber. Got that electric sound to the hum. Yeah. Awesome. Little reverse grip action. Let's do that one more time. Cool. Sounds awesome, guys. Probably top 3 favorites. But this is the Obi-Wan Kenobi television series Legacy lightsaber. This thing looks slick. It looks fantastic. They have this like, you know, two-toned to the whole upper half of the emitter. The whole saber looks weathered. And there's only a few of them, like we covered in this video, that are really weathered. And the grip has been kind of roughed up, the upper and lower parts. The metal is still chrome because this is between episode 3 and episode 4, right? At 4, it's all beat up and dirty. 3, it's looking clean. This is in between. And they gave a really cool smoky look to the neck and the emitter cup. Looks great. Only thing that isn't really fitting in about this saber is this bright silver center hole, which I'm sure would be easily painted if you had to go to all the trouble to figure out which paint to use and blah, blah, blah. But I would definitely just dirty my finger and go, and just kind of, mix it around with a Q-tip, get every little edge in there. But, if buttons don't work, at least with this saber, there isn't like a mysterious switch that they added extra. You actually turn on the activation switch. Whole upper half to put on display, which will look really cool in your office or bedroom or wherever the wife or girlfriend will let you display this. If you want to turn on your saber, you take off the cool upper half and you put on the pelican choking on a fish. Which they still had the courtesy to airbrush and weather. Look at how quickly that got out of hand. But hey, like I said in the review video for this, when you do turn it on and you're outside, you're just enjoying it. You're having fun with it. You're not like staring at the super extra double XL wide neck that it has transformed into magic. All right. Yes. You've got Obi-Wan's lightsaber only being sold in the box set, and who knows what Disney's gonna do. They just come out with stuff wherever. Now, Obi-Wan's, sound effects are more traditional. We can expect that, but it sounds great. And the most sensitive lightsaber, I cannot explain why, don't know what it's about, but it triggers those sound effects of the swings really much easier than all the other sabers. Hopefully we can expect this from all the reoccurring legacy lightsabers, but I have a feeling we won't. Clash effects. I love the original trilogy clashes, sharp whip sounds. And kind of like the other Obi-Wan episode 1 from the beginning of the video, again, like right up above the grip, like just how you would hold it with your hand, it's a bit thinner. So it does lend itself to some possibilities of some spinning. Not as easy as episode 1. I think I give that the award for the best tricking spinning saber. So just when I thought I had reviewed all the Galaxy's Edge Legacy lightsabers, I went to the D23 convention and Disney was so kind as to release Obi-Wan Kenobi box set containing his 3 lightsabers from episode 1, the TV series, and episode 4. And as we open the crate, we hear that sweet magical tone when the name Obi-Wan is mentioned by Luke Skywalker. It's the second, I think, only ever bubble strip lightsaber that has been a part of the Legacy collection, but this saber just looks so awesome. It is weathered to the max like no other Legacy saber has been. And you gotta take a close look at this, guys. Look at this Obi-Wan Episode 4 Sir Alec Guinness lightsaber. Man, no detail was overlooked. This thing definitely looks aged and weathered. Love the bubble strip and every detail. The Graflex flash gun lines for the clamp are there. The weathering looks great for the upper grip and the middle section here. But just the weathering looks so good. I mean, the ring is not. It's very smooth, but it looks dinged up and even matches these brush strokes in the lower emitter here match the replica to a T. So I know the size might be a little bit off, but the coloring looks fantastic, you guys. It started with Luke, then Leia, and now we have the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and episode 4, but the whole upper half comes out. And below we have the blade emitter for episode 4 hilts. Let's check out the sounds, huh? Yeah, love that hum. A little bit of a squeak to it. Could fix that up in a second. This is nice and loud though too. Super loud. Let's check out the clash effects. A little bit of controversy. Some of you felt like the clash effects from the Kenobi series may have been swapped with episode 4 because the Kenobi series sound more vintage, like the basic clash. I love the original trilogy clashes, sharp whip sounds. And these sound a little more action-packed, maybe from the Kenobi series, but, you know, what's done is done, right? But just sounds great, super fun. As of the recording of this video, they have not started selling this by itself yet, but is going to stand out in your collection if you can get your hands on it. Probably one of my favorites. Alright guys, so the next lightsaber I have for you is the Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 3. This is the newest Obi-Wan saber they released, but not in chronological order. So this cleaned up version first appeared in like a lava Battle of Heroes box set. It was then made available to buy individually just a month later or so. So for all of you Episode 3 fans, this is the saber you are looking for. Bam, this is before episode 4 and the Kenobi series with all the weathering. Looks shiny, clean, gold focusing emitter, and the copper upper neck there. The weathering between the episode 3 and the Kenobi series and episode 4 is so drastic, it really comes down to your personal preference. And even though the saber is larger in girth than the replica by quite a bit, I think Disney does a great job keeping everything in proportion, whether it's the emitter cup or the activation switch or the pommel, everything is kind of proportionate as a whole. So would look really good on display, and you know, non-Star Wars fanatics wouldn't really know the difference that it was larger than what you see in the film. And just like all the other thin neck lightsabers, the whole upper half is for display, and then we're gonna put on the blade half. But I guess it makes sense because episode 3 in the Kenobi series, they're so close in a timeline. I get why they wouldn't like make changes to the sounds, but this and the Kenobi series are the only 2 Galaxy's Edge lightsabers that have identical sounds. Here we go. Awesome. Again, if I haven't mentioned it before, if you hear a little bit of a squeaking with the connector, throw a small strip of packing tape, nice strong packing tape, and that should really make it a little bit tighter and reduce that squeak by a little bit. Really sharp snapping sounds that sound a little bit more true to episode 4 lightsaber duel with Darth Vader. And deactivation. Bam! Oh man, the Anakin Skywalker episode 3 Battle of Heroes box set. This lightsaber was a real treat. I was looking forward to checking this out. The control clamp, you get the gold activation switch and this little accent clip here. But as you can tell, this is really like a polished nickel type of finish. I think I would prefer this because Anakin's true prop from the film is really a fingerprint magnet, and you're going to enjoy this a lot more, not having to worry about wiping off your fingerprints. But we have this really nice rose gold colored button over on this side and the larger version over here. And I don't know, I think one of them should be red, one of them's more of a gold, but either way, I like this color. They do have these golden accent prongs over here, and I even like that they didn't forget about the screw there that you'll find a lot of the replica sabers to tighten the blade. But just like all the other Flex Skywalker lightsabers, the grips feel great. They're strong. Doesn't feel like they're gonna peel off or anything like that. This screw cap here matches identical to the Skywalker Reforged lightsaber. And on the clamp here, this really does a great job adding grip to when you're holding it, and it's not sharp. It's not gonna cut up your hands. It's pretty soft. And from memory, I believe that this Anakin saber does have a unique sound. Let's check it out. I want to hear that activation again. Let me hear that. Oh yeah, I would like that. That is a solid hum, great activation. Oh, and then the bonus clash where you get a little extra flicker in the blade. Oh, got another one. Kind of crazy how Disney's been doing that on some sabers, but not all of them. But it feels great, and again, I don't have to worry at all about fingerprints. Has a few different clash effects. All right, that's the Anakin. All right, here we have the Qui-Gon Jinn infamous lightsaber that some of you guys were waiting like 2 years for, and they gave us what they promised, and we all knew it would be big. It is a pretty chunky, heavy saber. 2.5 pounds. I don't recommend. Don't even think about bringing it to the park. Don't put this on your hip. Maybe put it in a backpack. This will even pull down a fanny pack and be giving you like hip burns or something. Pretty heavy, but let's take a close look at it. And here we go, the Qui-Gon Jinn Jedi Master lightsaber from episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Look at those ridges. Bam! Super true to his replica. Signature red button activates the saber. Thank goodness they didn't put some other switch somewhere else. That would have drove me bananas. Thin emitter cap there at the very top. Looks sleek. I'm glad they really sculpted the upper emitter. If they didn't, I would have felt like the saber would have looked a little bit too boring. What encapsulates most of the saber is this like silver shroud that like runs along most of the saber, and they nailed the details, even the size and the number of these oval-shaped windows kind of through the back of it there. CoverTech belt clip, my all-time favorite. And this is one of the few lightsabers that actually has rechargeable battery, which I believe adds to the weight of the saber. But it's super great that you don't have to worry about AA batteries. A great two-handed saber, although this switch reminds me, it looks identical to the Temple Guard, right? Always bumping it, activating it on accident. So just something to keep in mind. Now remember this activation, listen to it. It seems a bit longer than most of the sabers. Check this out. It's like really prolonged, but it still sounds cool. I like it. Awesome, guys. Clash effects. So there's only 2 clash effects, and one's like kind of a double and a single. So I love that they made a unique sound to the saber, but still sounds very traditional in Jedi. And they have not, of course, upgraded any of the soundboards. You know, we're not getting any closer to smooth swing, unfortunately. But if we did, they'd probably just have to like jack up the price some more, and like that'd get out of hand. And here we have the Count Dooku Jedi lightsaber, which I geeked out the moment I saw this thing. So cool. I love this series. I love seeing Dooku as a Jedi and understanding his character more. But, this lightsaber is sick. So cool. Come check this out. So like I said in the review video, what makes the saber look so cool in my opinion is the shroud right here, which is not only this chrome mirror finish, but also has this very bright silver paint on either side. I mean, man, they really sculpted this thing. If I find whoever designed this saber, they're definitely getting a big high five from me. Fingerprint magnet from the whole upper half of the saber. When I reviewed the Count Dooku Sith saber, I always had a hard time believing that his Sith saber would be, it doesn't look appropriate to be a Jedi before he turned to the dark side. This smaller hook definitely looks more appropriate and looks more Jedi, like you could get away with that. One thing the saber is missing though, is the upper grip here, which he has on the Sith saber, but not the Jedi. So if you try to do any kind of tricks or spins with this, this is the reason why it may fall out of your hand, hopefully onto the soft carpet. Still have this trigger down here by the pommel, which is gold on this saber. Love the pommel cap, and I guess this also is a shroud, but feels like more of a, my money's on plastic for this piece right here. You know, and even this rubber grip, actually this is kind of a sticky, nice rubber grip. This really would help add to letting your hand grip the saber. Now the switch is a little bit stubborn. I would like to turn it on and off with one hand, and it's just a little tough. Maybe your button's looser, let me know in the comments. Let's check out that sound again. I believe this is pretty accurate to the series. However, I don't really mess with the volume of the audio in my videos. This is definitely more of a quiet saber. Pretty hard to hear unless you're in a quiet room. If you're around other people talking and stuff, you're gonna have a hard time hearing this. It's got a cool, mean kind of a hum to it. Definitely demands attention. And they're action-packed clash sounds, but definitely low on the volume. But one cool detail about this saber that stands out from all the rest of the legacy sabers is that it's actually flickering, which I think is an awesome, crucial detail I wish they had done since the beginning. But there's a downside. The way they get the blade to flicker is that it's going to turn on and off very, very quickly. So I think in video or pictures and stuff, it might look dimmer than other blades that are just on constantly. You know, take it for what it is. If I had to choose, I'd rather have my blade have a little bit more flicker, and that really would have like increased the fun factor for me when I got my first Luke at Galaxy's Edge on opening day. A kind of a grungy hum to the saber. So next, one of the newest sabers that they released in Galaxy's Edge is the Ezra Bridger. Let's check it out. Bam! All you guys are geeking out over this who are Star Wars Rebels fans, and I know that I definitely have become one after giving it a chance. Even though the thinner lightsaber blades kind of caught me off guard, the show totally has won me over with the band of unique misfit characters like Ezra Bridger, our very own Star Wars Aladdin, This is his saber, and it's very similar to the Luke Skywalker and the Princess Leia in the fact that the whole upper half is going to be replaced with a blade emitter, but it has all the classic details of his saber, including the 4 chunk parts down here at the pommel. If you guys can tell, there's a beautiful blue hue to the overall shroud on the saber. And even though the knob doesn't do anything, it's still pointed at the correct time, like 4 o'clock. Activation switch here used at the box. And all the detail that you could want up at the emitter, which is very accurate. Leave a comment down below. I thought Ezra had little pins on both sides of his saber, but I'm only seeing him here on the right side. But the emitter looks classic, kind of cut off at the very top, and all the details are here. Let's take a look at the blade upper half. Now, the upper half of this actually is really unique, but none of the others really have such a deep protruding chunk that goes into the hilt like this. And I'm thinking of like the Leia and the Obi-Wans and the Lukes. And that is the new look here. But like, hey, I've joked before, when you're geeking out with this in the dark, it, doesn't really matter about the neck. If it's all in your imagination, when you're having fun with it and the wife or girlfriend is in bed asleep, nobody knows that you're in your robe jumping around the family room with your Ezra Bridger lightsaber. And no one cares how thick the neck is, All right, let's check it out. 3, 2, 1. I'll keep it closer to the mic for the audio. Here you go. Not bad as far as swing sensitivity and a variety of swing sounds. And also the green lightsaber blade is, it's a fan favorite. Come on, it makes you think of Yoda, Qui-Gon Jinn, Luke Skywalker, total greats. Not as common of a lightsaber blade color, so Ezra's got it going on. Accurate sounds, just of course, like I've mentioned about all the legacy lightsabers, they're all different and they continue to impress. And the clash sounds. Sweet. Rebels fans geeking out over this. Let's keep going. Next, we've got the limited edition Cal Kestis Seer Junda staff. And the Seer Junda is one of only 2 sabers they have not released individually. So this was limited edition and came with this really fancy, nice, large white box and a certificate that was numbered. There's some indefinite number, 5,000 or something like that. And what's so notable about this piece, other than the overall weight of it, is that this is the first Galaxy's Edge saber that could change all the colors with the buttons without having to change crystals and stuff like the Savi's Workshop. All right, so this half, the Cal Kestis, or some think the Jaro Tapal, but let's not open that can of worms. Classic same design of the Cal Kestis for most of the saber, but down here completely wrapped. And I want to note that when you have all the pieces screwed in, you can see by looking at the striations in the leather, if I get close enough here, that they match perfectly so that the leather isn't mismatched. That would be a big downer. So this is the activation, and if you want to change the color, there's a button on the other side, and you hold it down just like you would to change the colors of the Ahsoka Tano sabers. Vents here for the sound in the center, small vents, but they seem to do the job. You'll listen to here in a minute that it doesn't really sound quiet. And this is the Seer Junda saber. The kind of ironic part is that they released this saber around the time of Jedi Survivor, even though this is a Jedi Fallen Order staff that Cal receives from Seer to help him finish his adventure in the game. The Seer Junda, look at these colors. I love this shade of a tan. It's got this kind of a bronzy stripe down here on the neck of the emitter. Make sure to subscribe. I should be getting a Neopixel version of this any day now, so you don't want to miss that video. Might do a little comparison. And look, it's blended so well, I can't even tell which one the switch is. Let's see, where is it? There it is. This turns the saber on, and on the opposite side of the saber, the entire thing is a button which you hold down to change the colors. And you might be noticing my Star Wars Apple Watch band. Shout out to Moby Fox for making the cleanest Star Wars bands and faces in the galaxy. Siri, stop listening to me. You're so nosy. I've gotten this question a few times from you guys. Which blade sizes should you use for the staffs? And of course the answer is the smallest 26-inch blades. Sure, you can go any size you want, which is a huge perk of the Galaxy's Edge sabers, right? Force Effects can't touch that feature. All right, you guys ready? Listen to this. I'm so glad I didn't bust my camera or my TV just now. This totally sounds like Jedi Fallen Order. Check this out. Yeah, boom! Changes like all the Galaxy's Edge Savi's Workshop colors, which I believe are a total of 6, but unfortunately does not change the sounds. Ooh, dark-sided Cal, yeah! So if you're a Galaxy's Edge fan, you might have to go hunting on eBay for this. I don't believe they're selling anymore, but makes a pretty epic addition to your collection. I couldn't miss an opportunity to show you guys one of the cool stands that I've got from JSJ Forge on Etsy. He designs and prints some really cool stands, especially for the Galaxy's Edge lightsabers. This is the only stand I've seen that was designed for the Cal Kestis Seer Junda staff. Let me show you. There's felt here on the lower portion of the lips, so it won't scratch or leave any blemishes on your saber. And you put it in just like this, and this arm is strong enough to hold up your Cal Kestis Seer Junda staff. Not only that, comes with a remote, and there's, boom! There's an LED light in the base. So definitely going to wow your friends and make your saber stand out in your collection. A lot of you guys were relieved that Disney finally released this saber, which was teased from a company online that were selling advanced pre-order copies of Jedi Survivor. And they were selling this Galaxy's Edge Cal Kestis lightsaber with the Jedi Survivor repaired pommel. And a lot of people were speculating that this may not be released in the parks, but I know it would eventually. So after several months, this is available, I think, in a box set on Shop Disney or in the parks, but this can change all 6 colors like the staff, but the repaired pommel is what makes it the Jedi Survivor saber. Same classic design. I don't think there's any changes except, I think they did make one nice clear change to this over the Jedi Fallen Order, and that is there is no hand-painted janky stripe that was all goofed up. They were just doing that by hand, whipping them out. So they got rid of that. I like that. The gold here under the shrouds looks great. They added a little bit of gold on the wires. Can you see that? That's some nice detail there. Definitely going to be one of the heavier sabers. I know there's a belt clip. Don't get any ideas. I don't recommend putting this on your belt. This is still at least a couple of pounds, and you don't want to give yourself hip problems halfway through your Disney vacation. But of course, the biggest addition to this is the repaired Survivor pommel. Check out down in the comments. I played the entire game live while giving out lightsabers. Had a great time. What a blast. My community is so awesome. So lucky to have you guys. Feel free to check those out in the comments. But this Survivor pommel is the newest addition. We've got a bunch of little squares on either side. And this finally feels more balanced than the Jedi Fallen Order from Galaxy's Edge. Something about the pommel is just a bit heavier. The whole lower half, probably a little bit more dense with metal. Does have a second belt clip down below here, but I don't recommend it. This is, I wouldn't say it's flimsy, but it doesn't tell me, hey, hang 3 pounds from it, it'll be fine. But let's put a blade in it and see how it sounds. So the sounds are identical to the staff, so really listen for if you can hear the volume and the clarity through the vented portions of the grip. Usually the speaker is way down here at the pommel where the sound is coming out, where there's a very small space. So since it's coming out of the grip, I hear kind of like a tin can aluminum sound coming out because the sound is resonating so much all at the same time as it's coming out. Let's see if you can hear it. Bam! There we go. Jedi Survivor. There it is. So I've never been a part of a leak before that an employee leaked that this little beauty, the Yoda Galaxy's Edge lightsaber, was coming out. But even at the moment when I reviewed it, it didn't occur to me what a huge deal it was at the time. I was so excited about the saber itself, I didn't think about the brand new blade technology that they implemented with this little guy. So here we have Yoda's lightsaber, which, hey, to all you new Star Wars fans, you might recognize more from the Book of Boba Fett, but Yoda totally unleashes on Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith, and it was so super exciting to see that. This is his little saber, and they minimized all the electronics. I never thought Disney was going to make something so more accurate like this. Everyone was kind of afraid it was going to come out looking like a Subway footlong, but they did a great job with the shroud up at the top, even the little knob detail here on the back. I know it's not supposed to have a little hole here, but beggars can't be choosers, right? Got both of his buttons, the activation switch, his grips look great, and this is how you actually use the rechargeable battery. Bam! Right there, USB-C. I bet a lot of you guys are excited about that. The grip, it stays. I was afraid it might be a little bit loose. If you were having fun with it, you might slide it down a little bit on accident there, but the best part is that even though this has a rechargeable battery, it's super light. It's ridiculously light. Unlike my Qui-Gon used to sit here on the shelf for a long time. The Qui-Gon and the Palpatine have rechargeable batteries, but they're pretty heavy. So I thought there was a correlation between recharge and weight, but not with this guy. This thing is like not even a pound. I mean, woo! This can go in your pocket saber. You ever heard of one? Well, you have now. And this is what the connector looks like to the new twist-in Galaxy's Edge blade technology. Unfortunately, the Yoda blade does not fit in the Ahsoka sabers that I'm going to review next, and vice versa, because it's a particular size. So that kind of bums me out, thinking that they may not be making these in mass quantity to purchase replacements for in Galaxy's Edge. This might be a one and done like the Force Effects, but only time will tell. I have made some short videos comparing the brightness. I do believe these are brighter than the original blades. Okay, fine, I'll double check right now. Since we just happen to have the Ezra Bridger, which is also green, let's just compare the blades real quick. All right, here we go. Ezra Bridger and the Yoda. Definitely a shade or two brighter. There you have it, people. Finally putting the debate to rest, the new blades are a bit brighter. But let's check out the sound and see if this little Yoda really packs a punch. Here we go. I love that ignition. Let's hear that again. And a really unique hum. I keep listening for the sound activation. Not a smooth swing, but hey, it's the price. These are the least expensive character metal hilt lightsabers, so you make a couple of sacrifices, you know what I mean? Clash effects. Just like Yoda, they're little, but they pack a punch. Man. Best thing about this saber is you can be a Star Wars fan, geek out on vacation, because you know this blade is fitting in your luggage. So easiest to travel with award. And being a pocket saber means no worrying, and being a pocket saber means no belt clips. I was wanting to hold one for years, so I totally geeked out. I still do, wielding his weapon. Next, and we have finally the newest addition to the Galaxy's Edge Legacy lightsaber family, the newer, thinner, sleeker Ahsoka Tano sabers. Let's check them out. There you have it. They come in a box set, no stand, but they both come with the new twist-in blade technology and a smaller blade for the smaller Shoto saber. Definitely thinner when you look at them from the side. Although the front profile, they do look a little bit wider. But overall, I think we can all agree this is an improvement over the 2.5-pound Subway sandwich style design they had before. The color of gold under the emitter of the larger saber is on point. Another change that's really subtle is I believe on the older sabers, they were angled the same direction. But these two, the buttons are curved away from each other for activation. Fun fact, diamonds look clean. The grip on the larger saber feels good. It's a rubber, not a plastic, has some grip to it. And I think you guys are gonna like the volume that these sabers put out. Let's do it. Now, the only competition for the quality and price of these products is Force Effects. They did announce that they are putting out their Ahsoka saber like next year sometime, but they're only putting out one. So for a lot of you Star Wars fans, this makes it kind of a no-brainer if you're only looking to spend. I think these are like $350 right now, maybe on sale for the holidays, who knows? All right, let's check these out. 3, 2, 1. And better audio for the ignition. How about one at a time? They're identical. I thought maybe this one had a slightly higher pitch. Probably just my imagination. Yeah. Clash effects. Bam. Sounds clean, dual blades, brighter. And did I mention that these are lightweight? They're definitely lighter, and I'm gonna give them a thumbs up for cosplay. That's right, for my review, they are less than half of the weight of the original Ahsoka saber. Thank you to all of you who watched my entire video, or even most of it. I totally appreciate you guys. Make sure to take care. Please be safe out there and have an awesome Star Wars day. See you next time, guys. Yeah.